What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. If you don't know who I am, that means you're new. I'm Mark. Let's go with y'all. Go check out my other videos. Check them out. But first, stay on this one. All right, so welcome back to another episode of Debunking Anti Gunners. I had a feeling you guys knew it was coming. You know what I mean? It was going to happen eventually. Might as well accept your fate. It's happening now. All right, let's go ahead and get right into it. No more beating around the bush. You read the title. You saw the thumbnail. On this episode of Debunking Anti Gunners, it's dangerous and unsafe to keep around in the chamber. I can't remember how I worded it, if I worded it as keep around in the chamber or carry with one in the chamber. But regardless, same point. You get the idea. We're going to go ahead and debunk this stupid argument. This might have been a video you guys have actually seen, as it's been going pretty viral in the Second Amendment community for like the last year or so. Where this not so smart individual, to say the least, was arguing against carrying with one in the chamber. And here's the thing. We've talked about whether or not you should carry with one in the chamber or not. You know, we've talked about that on this channel, but it seems we're going to have to talk about it again. So, to argue, first off, what do you consider dangerous and unsafe? For some people, dangerous is just stepping outside. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if those type of, that type of people would sit there and claim, oh yeah, well, it's dangerous to have a round in the chamber. That doesn't like surprise me in the slightest, at least. However, what I can say, hear me out, maybe I'm crazy, is that it's much more safe for you to keep around in the chamber. Let me explain where I'm going with this. So you're out and about, you're having a good day. You're like, hey, I got to go ahead and, I'm trying, let's say hypothetically, right? You're trying to just get rid of your old couch. Something crazy, something random, right? Trying to get rid of your old couch, wanting to get a new one. Go check out, say, Facebook Marketplace. A lot of people use Facebook Marketplace. There's nothing too crazy about what I'm saying so far. Start looking up a couch. Okay? Find something you like. Show up there. And, I will say a couch of all things is probably one of the dumbest things to really do this over. However, it is a decent example here. You pull up to the meet, you get robbed. It's happened to a ton of people, believe it or not. Luckily, I don't use Facebook Marketplace, but it has happened to people, and there are several stories about it. And honestly, it's really unfortunate because either they were going there to buy something or they were going there to sell something. So they were either wanting to spend money or make money, and neither of those things are really worth getting robbed over. But regardless, imagine you're getting robbed and you have to pull out your gun and rack the slide and then be able to get into the fight. How screwed are you? How unsafe is that to deal with? I mean, you tell me. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy here. But it seems pretty unsafe to me to sit there and have to worry about racking the slide when you're already carrying. If you're carrying, you should have a holster. If you have a holster, you should have a good one. I'm failing to see what the problem is here with having a round in the chamber. And look, I will say, having a round in the chamber does boil down to a couple of things, like how you're carrying it. What that boils down to is if you're using a holster or not, what kind of holster you're using. If you're not using a holster, you're probably an idiot. But regardless, my whole point simply boils down to the fact that if you're using a holster, you should be using a good one. And if you're using a good holster, you shouldn't have a problem with having a round in the chamber. If you're worried about the gun just going off, maybe you should do some research on either how the firearm mechanically functions, or if you have a SIG P320, just go ahead and return it. Just get rid of it. Save yourself the time and effort of having to go to the hospital. Just get rid of it. Now, this argument makes no sense to me, though. The argument against having a round in the chamber, otherwise known as Israeli carry, which, if that's what they do over there, that's not great. but I also don't believe that's what they do. But I could be mistaken. Who knows? I'm not an Israeli. I'm an American. I'm having a good time with this video. I don't know if you can tell. But regardless, getting off topic here. The entire point I'm getting at is to argue against carrying around in the chamber carrying with around in the chamber. Regardless, same difference. Arguing against that, all in all, is just arguing against actually being able to protect yourself. And that's more so the bigger issue here. A lot of people can argue, oh, well, maybe it's a backup gun or whatever. If it's a backup gun, then why do you care about having a round in the chamber or not? Just put one in the chamber and go about your day. It's your backup gun. I have like several guns, not just my G2C and my LCP right now, but I have several guns just laying around my house to have a round in the chamber. Granted, they're all in holsters, but I can also say that they're not going to go off. Guns are designed to have a round in the chamber, sometimes for long periods of time, and they're designed to not just go off on their own. That's not how a majority of firearms work. There are exceptions. P320. Oh, what? But back to what I was saying. Getting a little off topic here. My entire point boils down to the fact that it's more dangerous to not have a round in the chamber than it is to have a round in the chamber. There's no, I guess, debating this with me. Because in the end, if you're carrying and you don't have a round in the chamber, how useful is that when things go down and seconds actually matter? It means nothing. It really means nothing. The only argument I can make for carrying and not having a round in the chamber is perhaps maybe if you have, if you're a woman and you're carrying in your purse and, you just have a ton of stuff in there, sure, I could see that for a safety reason, but also why not just get a holster and carry on your person? I don't know, maybe that's just me. But the only other time I could see that is maybe if you're carrying a gun in your backpack. If you're carrying a gun in your backpack, do you really think that when something goes down, that's going to be what you're going to be able to access immediately? I understand maybe a situation of like a mass shooting, right? Okay, duck, take cover, open your bag, pull out, your gun, whatever gun it is, right? Some people, they get the foldable ARs. Some people, they get the whatever foldable PCC they want, whether it's a Smith & Wesson or the Kel-Tec, whatever. My whole point is simply that there's very few situations where I see backpack. My goodness, I'm awful with it today. But there are very few situations where I see backpack carry being extremely useful. Therefore, it kind of isn't really an argument to make here when it comes to talking about having a round in the chamber. Yes, if you're carrying in your backpack, I would recommend not having a round in the chamber unless maybe the gun is in a holster. But also, how likely are you to be able to get that gun out in a situation where, once again, seconds matter. You're going quickly. You're not going to be able to sit there and be like, oh, okay, let me. You're not going to be able to do that. Someone time how long that took me. Just enacting it, not even actually doing it with a backpack, not any of that. Just imagining it took me longer than I would have wanted it to take in a real situation. You see what I mean? It's all in all, it's just not worth it. The argument, geez. Disappointed in myself because I usually only mess up like 3-4 times in a video. I'm reaching my limit here. I'm disappointed. As I was saying, though, the argument against carrying with a round in the chamber just doesn't make sense. Carrying around in the chamber is essential to carrying. That's kind of the whole point of it, is when you're concealed carrying, you want to be able to protect yourself outside of your home. Some people carry inside of their home. I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I do that. My whole point, though, is that if you're wanting to protect yourself outside of the home, why would you want to add an extra step in between you being able to do that and what situation you're currently facing? Why would you want to add that extra step, take that extra second, have to deal with that, when in all reality, you can just get a good holster, have a good gun, and a little bit of faith? I mean, I don't even really call it faith because it's mechanically designed to not go off on its own. A majority of guns don't just go off on their own. If that was the case, pretty much all gun manufacturers would get sued. I don't know why people don't realize that part. If guns just went off on their own, there would be a lot of lawsuits against a lot of different gun brands. And you really only see a lot of different lawsuits against one gun brand for that situation, Sig. I know I've been talking a lot on the P320, but regardless, all in all, I think that about wraps it up for this video. I don't want to keep going in circles here. I don't want to keep ranting, but I can't say enough how much of a bad idea this is to recommend to people. In the end, when you're in a situation, whether you're protecting your life, man, seconds matter. Why would I waste an extra couple? In a situation where I am protecting my life or the life of anyone in my family, you think I'm wasting those couple seconds? Nah. Nope. But once again, I'm going to wrap up this video. I'm not going to keep going in circles for you guys. But y'all make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, hit that bell. When you hit that bell, hit all in. Whether or not you agree with me about this, if you don't agree with me, I want to hear why. I do. Because realistically speaking, get a good holster, you have no excuse. That's it. No excuse for not having a round in the chamber, not being able to be in the fight the second you need to be, not 2 or 3 seconds later. With that being said, y'all make sure to comment down below why or why not you agree with me. And then make sure to check out all my other videos. Y'all make sure to stay legal, stay safe, stay dangerous. Have a good one, y'all. Peace.